They told us we were selfish, that we were lazy, that we were entitled, but we were born into burnout, raised on the ruins of broken dreams. And now, because we refuse to bring children into a world on fire, they call us cowards. Let's talk about that. This is not a video for the faint of heart. This is for the misunderstood, the misjudged, the ones who said, no thanks, to diapers, debt, and depression disguised as tradition. Because the question isn't, why don't millennials want kids? The real question is, why does that threaten you so much? Chapter 1. A generation born in collapse. Let's get one thing straight. Millennials didn't break the system. We inherited it broken. We were born under the shadows of 9/11, raised. During endless wars we didn't start, and graduated into recessions we didn't cause. Our parents told us to go to college, get a degree, and we did. And now? We're swimming in debt, working 2 jobs just to stay afloat, and watching avocado toast be blamed for an economy that imploded decades ago. We watched the housing market collapse. We watched the climate collapse. And slowly, quietly, we began to ask, why should we keep pretending this is fine? The myth of the nuclear family was sold to us like a dream. White picket fence, 2 kids, golden retriever. But behind the curtain was financial ruin, divorce, emotional suppression, and generations of unspoken trauma. And now you want us to bring a child into that? Chapter 2. Lazy or just done playing the game? Let's unpack this idea of laziness. They say we're lazy because we don't want to grind ourselves into dust. But we say, that's not laziness, that's wisdom. You see, millennials watched. Their parents sacrifice everything for the job. The family dinners, the hobbies, the soul. All gone. And for what? A retirement plan that disappeared? A pension that never came? We don't want that life. We're not lazy. We're selective. We choose rest because burnout isn't a badge of honor. We choose therapy over toxic stoicism. We choose joy over martyrdom. And if that threatens your worldview, maybe it's time to update it. Because we are the first generation to say, I will not pass on my trauma just because I'm supposed to. Chapter 3. The Biological Clock. VS the Logical Clock. Now let's get into the you'll regret it argument. You know the one. The aunt who whispers it. The coworker who mutters it over lunch. The internet comment that reads, just wait until you're older and alone. Here's the truth. Millennials don't fear aging. We fear a life unlived. We don't see parenthood as an obligation. We see it as a sacred choice. And if we're not ready or not interested, we're not going to bring a soul into this world just to fill a void. That's not empowerment. That's ego. That's not love. That's legacy worship. Because what's more selfish, choosing not to have kids because you're uncertain, or having them because society told you to, and resenting them when life gets hard? We are not afraid of diapers. We are afraid of doing it for the wrong reasons. Chapter 4. The Politics of Reproduction. Let's talk control. For centuries, society has used women's bodies as battlegrounds. First through religion, then through policy, now through shame. Every time a woman says, I don't want children, there's a cultural panic, a moral meltdown, because her choice threatens the machinery. You see, a woman without a child is a woman harder to manipulate. She's got more time, more money, more energy. She's unpredictable. She's autonomous, and that terrifies systems built on her silence. But here's the twist. It's not just women. Millennial men are also walking away from the script. They're realizing that their worth isn't tied to how many mouths they feed. They're realizing that emotional availability is more valuable than paternal performance. We are deconstructing parenthood, not because we hate it, but because we respect it too much to fake it. Chapter 5. The planet is screaming. Now let's talk climate. The planet is melting. Oceans are rising. Species are dying by the hour. And yet society still asks, why aren't you having children? Because the house is on fire, Susan. And no amount of pastel nurseries or baby shower cupcakes can cover up the truth. We don't know if this world will be livable in 50 years. Millennials aren't being dramatic. We're being honest. We're choosing not to bring life into a system on the brink of ecological collapse. We're not nihilists. We're realists. And that distinction matters because hope without action is delusion. And sometimes the most hopeful thing you can do is refuse to participate in a broken cycle. Chapter 6. The Rise of Purpose-Driven Living. Here's what most people miss. Millennials aren't rejecting children. We're embracing something deeper, intentionality. We want purpose, not performance. Connection, not conformity. Some of us are building businesses. Some are creating art. Some are traveling, healing, serving, writing, resting. And all of it is valid. Because purpose isn't one size fits all. And legacy isn't limited to DNA. We are raising gardens, ideas, communities, movements. We are choosing to nurture the world differently, not less meaningfully. So stop asking us, when are you having kids? And start asking yourself, why do you need us to? Chapter 7. Healing the Family Lie. Millennials are the cycle breakers. We are the ones in therapy. We are the ones setting boundaries. We are the ones saying, no more silent suffering. And for many of us, that means redefining family, not as obligation, not as guilt, but as chosen connection. Because some of us were raised by parents who didn't want kids, but had them anyway, who punished us for being reflections of their own unlived lives. And we carry that pain in our bones. So when we say, we're not having kids, it's not because we're cold. It's because we felt the frost of generational trauma, and we choose warmth. Chapter 8. The Real Courage. You want to talk about courage? It takes courage to parent, yes. But it also takes courage to say no, to walk away from a centuries-old script, to face the loneliness of not fitting in, to endure judgment, side eyes, pity, unsolicited advice. But we're doing it, not because we're rebels, but because we're real. We want authenticity over approval, freedom over fear, presence over performance. Chapter 9. Reflection and Reclamation. So where does this leave us? It leaves us in a world where millennials are choosing differently, not perfectly, not selfishly, but intentionally. We are reclaiming time, reclaiming choice, reclaiming ourselves, and maybe, just maybe, that's the most powerful legacy of all. So the next time someone calls us lazy, selfish, or confused, smile and say, I'm not confused, I'm awake. A challenge to the audience, to the elders. watching this. We honor your path, but we're not obligated to repeat it. To the millennials listening, you're not broken, you're becoming. To the child-free souls walking a different road, this isn't a detour, this is the way. So live loud. Love deep, and never apologize for choosing yourself, because sometimes the most radical thing you can do is simply opt out.